Hey lovers, Amitabh Elliott here, and this video today is really going to be a surprise to me even. I was just doing some yoga. Here I am on my yoga mat in this little space I'm living in right now at my mom's, and so I'm sitting here stretching, right, and I look over and I've got a bunch of dates. My favorite dates are honey dates, and I've got these dates for a reason. I got like 4 boxes of them, right? Like, I've got more actually. I got about 5 now, and I'll tell you why I'm stockpiling dates in another video. But let's just say I have dates, and honey dates are my favorite type of dates. And so I'm sitting here and I'm stretching my hamstrings, and because I finally stretched my hammers, man, so much anguish. Not mental anguish, but physical. There's a big difference between mental and physical anguish. And so my favorite dates have always been honey dates, and I just love the way they taste. They're so good. And I was sitting there stretching my hamstrings, and look at the ingredients. I don't know if you can see. The ingredients are dates and honey. And I know it sounds kind of dumb, but I didn't know that there were. I didn't know there was honey in honey dates. I thought they were just a kind of date that was really sweet, and so they called them honey dates. But I looked at the ingredients, and now I see what's really in them, what makes them so sweet. And so in this video, I want to sort of draw a parallel between what meditation is and what it is to look at ingredients in your food. Because how often, I mean, before probably about 7 or 8 years ago, I never looked at the ingredients in food. I just bought whatever I bought because it looked good and because it tasted good. Then I became more health conscious. I had 2 aunts pass away of cancer within a month and a half of each other, and it really kind of, in a real subtle but dramatic way, shook my world. And I think our whole family in a lot of ways. And virtually most of my dad's side of the family is dead now, all from cancer. And so it's really interesting. I really began to look around at the world and see how sick everybody is. You know, my grandmother, I think, was alive maybe at the time, had diabetes. My grandfather died of, I don't know what he died of, but he had this disease where you keep just internal bleeding, like his nose would bleed all the time. You'd have to go get it cauterized. And interestingly, he was a butcher, and I was sort of talking with my friend last night and having this realization that, you know, that's just sort of his karma. He's killing all these animals his whole life and making them bleed and taking the lifeblood out of them. And so what was happening to him? And nobody else in the family seems to have this issue. I think there might be, it's a genetic, this is actually one of the few things that's genetic. But I think there's only one person in the family that has it, if any. And so I found that kind of interesting. So anyways, let's get back on point. Try to keep this video somewhat short. What I think for me meditation is like going to the grocery store. Pardon me. And looking at the ingredients in the food I'm going to buy and deciding if I want to buy it, instead of just grabbing it because it looks good, or not grabbing it because it looks like shit. So, because you never know what's in that food and how it's going to, because you are what you eat. your body is anyways, and it's, to a certain extent it definitely affects your consciousness, what you eat. And so what you put in, it's important to know what are you putting in, what are you putting into your body, what's in the food. And if there's ingredients in it that are not going to be good for you, such as, I mean, in most processed foods there's really not anything good in it, but let's just take MSG for example, and or aspartame. Everybody knows MSG and aspartame are like pure poison, and especially aspartame, but MSG is also, and it makes you addicted to foods. So you wonder why I can't stop eating this food, and all 90% of the foods you eat have MSG in it. So now it makes buying food a little bit of a longer process, and you have to be a little bit more introspective about it and insightful about it, and actually just mindful about what you're buying, and so you can see, well, what am I putting in my body? How do I want, I want to be healthy, I want to live long, I want to prosper, physically, and in all ways in life also. And so if I put things in my body that are going to cause harm to it, then that's my choice. I chose that. And so many people go through life and they don't even accept the responsibility that we're choosing all aspects of our experience. And chiefly one of the ways is with the food we eat, and we don't look at the food, and we don't look at the ingredients, what's in it. Find out, go look up online. We all have the web now. We can research and find out what's in it. What are these ingredients? What's calcium hydroxide? I used to like to eat nacho chips all the time, and then I was getting all these terrible stomach aches. Like it was debilitating. Like I'd be on the couch for hours, just holding my stomach and waiting for it to go away. Kind of considering shoving my fingers down my throat to get it out of me because it hurt so bad. And so I couldn't eat tacos anymore, or nacho chips, which I really loved. And then I see there's an ingredient called calcium hydroxide in it, and then I go on the web and I look it up. And what is calcium hydroxide? It's the major ingredient in Drano. And whoa, like crazy. So they use this super toxic an ingredient that can strip things away and destroy. Like Drano, because Drano goes in and destroys everything in your drain and clears it out, right? And you don't want that in your body. You don't want things that are going to build your body up in a healthful way. And so they use this calcium hydroxide to break down the husk of the corn, so that they break it down easier. Maybe makes the process faster. I'm not sure exactly why, but it's obviously not something you want in your body. And so now I'm going to try to make this. So obviously, if you didn't read the ingredients though, and you didn't do some mindfulness and research about what was in your food, you wouldn't know what you're putting in your body. You wouldn't know why am I getting diseases? Why is my face breaking out? Why am I sore all the time? Or why do I get sick all the time? All these kind of things. And so this is something we should really try to do, and not try to do it, and really start to be mindful. I think it's 1 in 4 people get diabetes, 1 in 3 will get cancer, and 1 in 2 will get heart disease. Ridiculous odds, like terrible odds if you go along with the society and the standard American diet. And so we really need to take control of our health, and not just be blown with the wind of society and do what society tells us is good, and what's on the television, because the television is not going to tell you anything good, I'm telling you that. And so now I'd like to try to make this parallel. It's an easy parallel, because I kind of thought about this a little bit. It was just something that it was sort of a realization, and I sort of thought about it a little bit. And so what meditation is it's like going to the grocery store And instead of just buying the food that looks good and that you don't know what's in it, you don't know how it's going to affect you, or not buying the food that looks that you don't like, meditation is like doing this for your mind. So, but it's with thoughts and feelings and emotions instead. And so instead of walking through your life and just accepting the emotions, being pulled by emotions and thrown around your life and throwing others around with blame and resentment and anger, sadness and depression, and quite honestly, over-exuberance. Because over-exuberance can have detrimental effect. Although I'd rather see somebody in myself be over-exuberant than depressed or angry. And so meditation, what it does is when you sit, and I haven't meditated yet today, but after this I'm going to sit for 45 minutes. You don't have to sit for that long, 10 minutes, 20 minutes is good. I posted something on my Facebook wall the other day, and it said you should meditate for 20 minutes a day, except if you're busy, then you should meditate for an hour a day. And it's true. If you don't have the time, then there's a real problem. That shows that there's real unbalance. If you don't have time for yourself, you have to make time for yourself. You're the only thing in this life that matters. It's your life. It's not anybody else's. It's not your kid's life. It's not your parents' life. It's not your husband or wife's life. It's your life. And if you can't have balance yourself first, how can you possibly expect to be balanced for them, to be happy for them, to be compassionate, and to be able to hold space for their life and be considerate for them? And so what meditation does is when you sit with yourself and whatever technique you end up using, be mindful and watch your thoughts and let them go. What it does is it allows you, it's a little bit of space every day. It's like the pausing in the grocery store before you just throw whatever in your cart. It's pausing and it's looking at the ingredients of your mind. And it's very interesting because what the ingredients of your mind will make up your life and will make up your experience. And so it's really, really important to take some time every day, and no matter how much time it is, even if it's 5 minutes a day, start with 5 minutes a day. If that's all you think you have at this time, or that's all you do have, start with 5 minutes and then just see how it affects your life and just be consistent with it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Honestly, I would start with 30 minutes twice a day, because I know, trust me, this will change your life in ways you cannot possibly imagine. It will increase your sense of well-being. It will increase your intuition. Will increase your sense of peace, and it will get you in touch with the source of love, so we don't go trying to seek it out in the world through other people and then end up hurting them and us. So by sitting every day, by taking some time to pause, and also maybe doing some pauses throughout the day, taking 10 seconds and just taking a few 10 or 30 seconds or a minute and taking a few conscious breaths, and just seeing what kind of thoughts am I holding in my mind right now, and knowing that even if I'm not willing to do it, my thoughts are going to create my life. This is all great teachers will teach you this, that you are the results of your thoughts. Nothing more, nothing less. And of course, to a lesser extent, the food you eat. But ultimately, and the food is very, very important. I hesitate to say to a lesser extent. The food is very, very important. I got on this spiritual journey of self-discovery through food, because I went and did a raw food diet, and then I went high raw, and now I can't say that I'm anywhere close to 100% raw, but I'm mindful of it. I have a green smoothie every day, and when I don't do that, when I don't drink enough water, when I don't have, you know, enough raw foods in my diet, I can see the quality of my body, the quality of my mind even, the quality of my health and my energy. And so by sitting every day, you'll give yourself the opportunity to come home, and you might not know what home is, but home is where the heart is. This is, you know what, this is this old, I don't know if it's an adage, but everybody says home is where the heart is, but they don't know what that really means. And yet it's so true. Home is where the heart is. And when we come home to our heart, we come home to, and it's not about, you know, being emotional, you know, even though emotions are, the heart is the place of emotions, energetically, and in that chakra. It's just about discovering the heart can be a metaphor for your source, coming home to your source. And when we can transcend the mind through meditation every day, we are taking that little bit of time to look at the ingredients of our mind, and therefore looking at the ingredients of what we're going to create and make up and bake up in our life. And so I hope you'll consider trying meditation and committing to it if you already do it, and strengthening your practice, solidifying your practice, because it will increase everything good in your life and decrease everything bad in your life, and also get you in touch with that which is beyond good and bad. So I love you guys, and check out worldpeacenow.ca if you want some tips and videos about how to meditate, and sort of a resource page that I made up just to teach people how to meditate, because I know how good it is, and I don't make money off it. It's just an information page, and it looks cool. So love you, have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.